Hey everyone, so welcome to the first episode of the Inner Dragon RC channel. In these videos, I'm going to be documenting my journey and adventures in learning how to fly RC helicopters. For those of you who don't know, RC helicopters are very different from drones. So drones may be very consumer friendly and they may be very easy to fly. A lot of it is just automatic and it's done mostly by the onboard computer. Whereas on RC helicopters, you pretty much have to do everything on your own. And the challenge is that, when you change orientation, like when you do flips, like what I'm doing here, things change. The orientation changes in your head. So you've got to cope with, the changes in orientations. And, whether the tail is facing towards you or away from you, if it's a nose in, things change. And when it's inverted, it changes yet again. So you've got to, pretty much practice and learn all the orientations. So the challenge is much higher than, just flying a DJI drone or like one of those Mavic drones or Phantom drones. Basically, these video recordings are myself just using first-person view camera, recording myself flying, and then it's a means of to recollect and also to kind of like create these videos and put them up on YouTube and share my learnings and explain why I want to learn to fly RC helicopters. This has been I guess you could say a calling. I started since I was about 10, and at the time, I was just a high school kid, didn't have a lot of money. So my dad funded the whole thing, and, it just wasn't very much fun because, I had to depend on my father for everything. I had to, like whatever equipment I wanted to get, I couldn't get because, they were too expensive or, they were out of reach. And then there was also the fear of like, what if I crash? Then what do I do, right? If you have your own, funds, things change. Like you're a lot more thoughtful, and you're a lot more careful when you do things, and you also think about, like strategies on how to actually learn this thing without crashing it. And I'm happy to say so far, in my journey, I've crashed only one time. So I've actually been flying now for a year, actually a year and a little bit. I started in October 2020, I think, around then. So now it's a year and like 4 months, something like that. What you'll see here in the video is, I'm flying what's called a 700 size helicopter. So these are competition size helicopters. They're extremely powerful. So, they're way more powerful than I should be flying, but they're a lot of fun. So that's the reason why I fly them. And, I've kind of like grown out of the 550 size helicopters. So generally, when you're a beginner, 550s are a good size. So I did start off with the 550s and then eventually, work my way up. And now I'm pretty comfortable with the 700 size helicopters. I'm nowhere, using these helicopters to the best of their ability. They're very, very capable. But for now, I'm just learning. And hopefully one day I'll be able to do magical things with these things. And, actually, I have an intention of making a special kind of film that requires, flying RC helicopters pretty well. So that's one of the reasons why I'm learning it as well. The other reason is it's just pure fun, right? Like, it's something to do over the weekend, to take your mind off things. It's very relaxing. Well, it can be very relaxing or thrilling depending on how you fly it. If you fly high RPM and you want that, that adrenaline rush, then you can fly it fast and wild and do all kinds of tricks in very short amount of times. But if you just are learning or just want to relax, You can just, maybe mid-level RPM. Like here, what I'm doing is about 2000 RPM. So that's the head speed. And, I'm just practicing my rolls and my loops and trying to, practice new moves. So generally before I come to the field, I'll practice in the simulator. And then I'll come to the field and then I'll try things that I know pretty well, that I'm comfortable with. That's my way of making sure I don't crash. So I will not try anything which I'm unsure of, because I don't want to spend money on fixing helicopters. I'd rather spend them on buying new helicopters. So I want to have, 2, 3, maybe even 4 helicopters. So if I don't crash, then there's the budget to do that with. And so, yeah, I'll take very minimal risk. And the moves that I do are generally things that I'm comfortable with. And then if I want to try anything, new or push myself, I'll come to the simulator, fly it, crash it in the simulator as many times as I want. And then I'll just, that's basically the way I do it. And so far it has been good. It's worked out pretty well for me. And generally also I try to not push myself, like don't compare myself to anyone. I just go at my own pace, and it's worked out great. So if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm going to be uploading more of these videos. The more I fly, I'm going to try to change the camera angle, get, maybe better camera angle. And for this episode, that's pretty much it. And so yeah, hope you guys like it, and I'll see you in the next episode.